Welcome in. My name is Katie Lynn. I am a certified human design analyst, and so is this person in front of me, Melanie. I saw her on the IHDS, the International Human Design School website. Regarding this particular YouTube page, it's beautiful. She put a lot of effort into it, and you can see that hour and a half, 55 minutes. Like, these videos are very long. There's not a lot of them, and there's only a few shorts. So, it says that she has over 2 decades of experience in the natural health field. So, what I like is that she's not bringing this into her human design channel. So, this is a pure human design channel. So, we are going to pick out this particular video. Why? Because it's her shortest. We've sped up her video because it's such a long video, but we give her a 10 out of 10 for the content on the front page. Now let's see if we can give her a 10 out of 10 for the content here.
Hello to my dear subscribers, to my viewers, to those of you who are stumbling across my channel for the very first time.
So I'm going to slow her down for a second just so you can hear her normal voice.
I am eager to share with you my latest presentation all about the genius of a manifestor who informs.
So yeah, she has a beautiful voice. She's talking very clearly, very slowly. I ain't got time for that. I kid. We're doing a reacts video, so let's see what we have.
So there's no way that I would have been able to put this together without the manifestors in my life who catalyzed this awareness in me. And I also would never be able to put this together without the manifestors who have been so enthusiastic about my outer authority, who have appreciated my seeing, who have initiated me into creativity, and as always, with impeccable timing. So thank you, and I hope, as always, that this will be of practical value to whoever needs to see it. So for those of you who might not know who I am, my name is Melanie Halpert. I'm a 5-1 quad right splenic projector on the left angle cross of wishes.
So, if you guys can't see her chart, it's coming over here. Projector, splenic projector, heavily defined, I would say. What does 5-1 mean? 5-1 is a profile within the human design. Very good question. And if you want to learn more about what 5-1 particularly means or what a profile means, you can definitely Google it. But 5-1 in this sense means that they're a person who is going to have something to say or, be conditioned themselves. So, it says that they're contagious, or, you know, I'm going to catch a bad dinner with you, or I'm going to catch, a bad conversation with you, or you're going to catch a new rhythm from me, or something like that. So she is also a person who likes to research as well, likes to investigate things. So that's what really that 5-1 is talking about. So that's just a generic overview of what a 5-1 is. Yeah. And all of this 5-1 quad right splenic projector is just a whole bunch of jargon. Yeah.
I've been more than 2 decades, 20 plus years in the field of holistic health. I work as a certified body talk practitioner, helping people with all kinds of stuff, whether it be physical pain or emotional stuff, mental stuff, life path, you name it. I'm also a certified living your design guide and a human design analyst in training. So the topic today is really all about the genius of a manifestor who informs. And the best place to begin is just by working with one of the most basic tenets. And this is that for a manifestor, nothing is more important than the peace that comes with having freedom of movement.
Now, my son is a manifester, and he thoroughly enjoys not being caged in. And it's not like I'm saying that I cage my kid in. No. I'm just saying that a lot of people like to reel their children in, and he's been allowed freedom of movement since a young age.
So I hope that some of you will find this amusing. It was only natural for me to pick a red Porsche to be the manifester in this video. But there was something about this image when I came across it. I really was hoping to find an image that would convey this feeling of freedom, having that open road, having that beautiful either sunrise or sunset, nobody in your way, just just a free agent to move through this world in your own timing as you wish, gorgeous day. So hopefully this is something that can evoke that, because it's something that really is, I mean, obviously overall important for a manifestor, but also really important for the thread of the messages throughout this video, because a lot of it revolves around these driving analogies.
So, in chat, we're being asked, does 5-1 only apply to being a manifester? No. There are 5 different types, 4 different auras, and 12 different profiles. So the 5-1 is a profile. There's 12 different profiles that you can be. So a manifester is something completely separate to what a profile is. So a manifester is the type, a profile is those 5-1 numbers. Yeah. So, yes, you can go check to see what your particular profile is by going to mybodygraph.com or Jovian Archive. But, yes, you can just go Google, get my free chart, and yeah, let us know.
And in fact, if you watch some of my other videos, you might already know how much I love analogies. And oh, do I ever have a good one for you today. So just again, to kind of recap something that a lot of you might already know, is that the manifestor aura is closed and repelling.
Okay, so we talked about how there's 4 different auras. And for this particular manifester, it's closed off and repelling. So for some people, it may seem like it's very hard to get into a manifestor's life. They may seem like they're always pushing them away or just closed off to the experience.
And the reason why
And oh my gosh, is my son ever like that? He is definitely a closed kind of person, and he definitely purposely tries to repel.
it's closed and repelling is because it's designed to move things out of the way. Manifestors are here to have impact. And whether they try to or not, this is really not an intentional thing. Just by nature of moving through the world, they have impact. The thing that I really wanted to bring to your attention today is something that, to me, and
Did you guys hear that? She said something so important. The reason why the manifestor's aura is made up this way, it's closed, it's repelling, is that it's designed to move things out of the way. Let's see what she has to say regarding an example. If not, I'm going to give you guys an example.
anyways, feels a little bit outside of the box, because in my years in human design so far, I don't ever recall reading about it or seeing it discussed. And it's something that maybe as a result of my quad rightness and being as peripheral as I am, it's just important to acknowledge the fact that a manifestor's movement through the world is not unidirectional. So unidirectional is about one direction. And the bottom line is that it's not always about what's in front of them. Any of you who have been kind of around, human design for a while, and you've heard even Ra talk about this, and maybe other teachers talk about this, there's this analogy that's used that's all about honking the horn, and how a manifestor will honk the horn to warn anybody or anything that's in its path to get out of the way.
Or a car's going to put on the blinker and before it, moves lanes, right?
Because this is the thing, manifestors are not here to stop for anyone. They're the only beings who are here to initiate. And they're not here to wait for anyone else outside of them before they act. Ideally, their action is something that is moved through their inner authority. So whether it's the emotional clarity that comes from waiting out their wave, whether it's their splenic awareness or splenic instinct in the moment, or whether it is their will, and it's not a mental will what they have the will to do, but it's literally the way that will move them into action. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Effective informing for a manifester is a lot more nuanced than just honking the horn.
Yeah, so she gave an example, and I can give you an example too and see what she has to say after. So, you are a manifester. So, let's just say that you are a person who owns a large ship at a dock and you're about to set sail. As a manifester, she just said that you're supposed to inform, which is, honking the horn. You're supposed to inform people that you're about to do what you're about to do. Okay, you're at the dock and you're supposed to inform those who are about to be affected by your leaving that you're about to leave, and you don't. Well, here you go. You just up and leave, and you're a huge ship, and then you end up knocking over people's fine china and their boats because of your huge waves. Because, as a manifester, you do have an impact. You do make waves, you make ripples with your movement. Um, you don't have to tell people where you're going, how you're going to get there, um, what's the plan. All you need to do is say, you just need to inform them that you're going to do it. So, it's saying here that a manifester is a person who will tell people or inform people that are included in the circle of impact, because either two things are going to happen: they'll get out of the way or they'll help you. So that is the idea behind the honking of the horn, a different idea behind it. So let's see what she has to say.
It's about much more than just clearing the path ahead. So I hope that you're amused by this image. I was really amused putting this together. But here you can see a little hand beeping on the horn. We've got the Beatles crossing the street. There's a car ahead. And I mean, this is great. This is great. And if a manifestor needs to move forward and there are people, that sign of courtesy really allows whoever might get in their way to get out of their way so that they're literally not bulldozed by the manifestor. However, like I said, it's about much more than clearing the path ahead. Manifestors and spatial awareness is a thing. So this is really, really the thing that I have come to understand. And there's a super powerful parallel that I'm going to draw for you today that is based on a real life situation that I have dealt with so many times in my very own neighborhood. And it was just too perfect not to illustrate it for you because it really broadens the scope about the entire point and purpose of informing and how.
So I have her video sped up by 1.5. No wonder her videos are so darn long. She takes a long time to talk about what she needs to talk about, but that's good though.
Possibly, if there's been resistance towards it, it's something that is going to really illuminate something further. So, my top tip, and you'll see why, is just because nothing appears to be in your way doesn't mean that there isn't. So, that road in front of you may be completely clear, it may be wide open, but that doesn't mean that there won't be a roadblock to your peace. And we all know how important peace is to a manifestor. So the next slide, just want to give you a heads up, there's a lot going on. So those of you who are acoustic, who get really distracted visually, the option is there to just close your eyes and to kind of listen to me describe the situation. But I have actually taken the time to illustrate this for you with PowerPoint to really show what I mean. Don't say I didn't warn you. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on here.
And you can see that I've written courtesy on the road. Everybody appreciates the courtesy of a driver who signals their intention. So this little intersection here is kind of like a rough sketch of an intersection near where I live. And I've been living here for, I don't know, must be at least 13 years now. This is an intersection I have to cross very often. And there is a recurrent, really obnoxious situation that happens. And one day it just really clicked that this is exactly what so many manifestors need to know. So you can see here, okay, the car here, this red car is the manifestor. And you can see that there is nothing here in front of the manifestor. This happens to be an intersection where there's two lanes going in each direction. And this left lane here, the driver always has the option to either go straight or to turn left. Now, the thing is that the stop lights at this intersection do not have an advance. So there's no arrow that lets them go, and there's no flashing green light. It just will turn green. And so very often what happens, okay, I've kind of gotten so used to this situation that even my most unstrategic self, I am a quad right, I am not here to strategize, but I've become really attuned to a potential situation because it's happened to me so often, where as I approach the intersection, I like to drive in the left lane. Oftentimes I drive in the left lane. And so I always kind of keep an eye out for the left turn signal on all of the cars in front of me. Because as long as I know that there's even one car that's going to be turning left, I understand that they're going to have to wait for the oncoming traffic to pass before they turn, which means that I'm going to get stuck behind them when I could just go into the other lane, go do my thing, and let them do theirs. But what ends up happening so much of the time is that when I get to, I'm there in the left lane, nobody has signaled that they're going to turn. The car in front of me hasn't signaled that they're going to turn. And then the light turns green and they don't move. Why aren't they moving? Oh, all of a sudden they turn on their turn signal. But it's too late. I'm already behind them. All the cars are coming from the oncoming direction. I can't switch into the right lane. And of course, I'm angry. This doesn't just happen to me. It's also not only manifestors who are driving this car. This is really just to illustrate a situation. There are many people on this planet who are not manifestors who also have this habit of not using their turn signal. And we can, contemplate all day long, is this person intentionally being a jerk, or did they just forget? Do they have a lot going on in their mind? All day, you can go through why this happened. Maybe they're going to get super lucky and the person behind them is going to have compassion that day. They're not in a rush. But for the most part, it's super aggravating because you're expecting that car in front of you is going to let you know what they're going to do so that you can adjust yourself accordingly. And I mean, this is really the thing that is super important, is that in terms of type to type interaction, manifestors are the one who lead the way. It's the others around the manifestor that will then adjust themselves accordingly. But it's really hard to adjust.
So, if you can keep up with what she's saying, she just said that manifestors are the go and everybody around them adjusts accordingly.
Oneself accordingly if you have no idea what the unpredictable manifestor is going to do. And so this is really why so much of the time.
And people around the manifestor can't adjust accordingly if they don't know what you're going to do. So please inform.
Unbeknownst to the manifestor, who is oftentimes very innocent. They're not doing anything intentionally to piss people off. It's just that they have blinders on. So I wanted to show here that just because the way in front of you might be totally clear, that it's always important to look in your metaphorical rear view. Who is behind you, who might be impacted by your decision. And if you don't let them know what you're going to do, are they going to be angry? Is that going to...
Yeah, so that just reiterates my you being a pirate and going out to sea and not informing people. Just because you're setting sail forward, people behind you will feel the ripple of your wave, of your impact.
To create a problem where there doesn't have to be one. Because guaranteed, that driver behind you doesn't care whether you turn left. They don't.
Oh, I must say that this person is a good content creator. They have good content. They put a lot of effort into this. They're a good educator. If you want to smash them a follow, they're a good person to follow. Unfortunately, they don't make a lot of content. So,
oh, you could turn left, you could turn right, you could go straight ahead. But it is the fact of that thoughtfulness, that courtesy of letting them know this is what I plan to do so that we can both just kind of do our own thing. And so it is worth stating that informing for a manifestor is not something that they have to do. You don't have to signal. You don't have to do anything. However, when you do, it eliminates the mysterious carnage that tends to occur in the wake of when you don't. So for any of you manifestors out there, if you're watching this video, I mean, it's quite possible that there have been instances in your life where you've just been doing your own thing in your little bubble, and then all of a sudden, all of these people are mad at you and you don't know why. Well, this is what is solving the mystery for you. It's that with this tunnel vision of thinking that the path was clear, you forgot to look in your rear view, you forgot to check your blind spot, you forgot to just signal your intention to the people that are in the periphery, and your impact field. Like, this is about cultivating awareness as to your impact field. It's not only about who is in front of you, but it's also about who is behind you. It might be about who is on either side of you. So when you consider those whom your actions might affect, and you signal your intention about the way you yourself need to move through the world, others don't get angry with you and things don't blow up in your face. This is really the dividing line between illusory peace. So having the illusion of peace or fleeting peace and this real sustainable peace for a manifestor. I mean, yes, obviously, anger is a chemistry. It's not something that you can get rid of. It's not something you even want to get rid of. Because like I talk about in my video about resistance, when that is properly calibrated, this is your guiding light. But the thing is that you have the power within you to create real peace, not just that kind of immediate, what do they call it? Instant gratification, where when you do the thing, it feels good, but then after the fact, all of a sudden, it becomes really hideous to deal with. So this is something that really sets the stage for real peace. Signaling your intention to others that your action might affect is the key to real peace, because it will put others at ease in the face of your unpredictable nature. And there are then no social consequences to deal with in the aftermath. And this is something that it really just was like this total download that it's all.
I wish that, I'm sure my son would listen to this, but like, this would be a lesson to my son. You know, just let us know where you're going. You'll receive a lot less backlash from us. It'd be great.
About clean movement through space. Not clean as in clean or dirty, clean as in crisp, like crisp, clear, clean, pure, just you doing your thing, nobody being a problem, because you've taken care of the problems, not just by having those blinders on and trying to, clear away what might be in front of you. So this situation here with the swearing drivers behind you that then honk your horn and call out the window and give you the middle finger, this can be avoided entirely. So the point I really want to drive home today is that a manifestor who masters their blind spots revolutionizes the way they impact.
All right, I'll think about that.
The reason I say this is because a manifestor, whether they try or not, I said this earlier, has impact. It's not something that you can control. It's not something that you can even engineer or that you're supposed to engineer. But however you move through space is going to have an impact on your impact. And it's not about how the mind wants to impact others, but energetically speaking, there is such a huge and powerful difference between that clean movement through space and the way that that can impact others. So when that switch is flipped, informing becomes empowering and purposeful, not an imposition, not an annoyance, not something to slow you down or to control you. So this is something that, in speaking with many manifestors, I can see how it just feels like, so annoying. Like, why do I have to do this?
Why do I have to let you know that I'm going to be dropped off somewhere else instead of coming straight home? Ugh. Because we were expecting you. We'd start to worry about you.
It feels like a burden. It feels like something terrible that people are telling them they should do. And
I'm gonna come home, Mom and Dad. You don't have to tell me. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. But inform us.
It can feel like that. I get it. I absolutely get it. But the reason why I wanted to create this video is to let you know that it is always to your advantage, because this is something that gives you the freedom to go your own way in real peace in whichever direction you please. So this might really be something that you need to go back to and contemplate again, because it is a parallel drawn between a real life scenario, something really mundane, something really like everyday stuff, and yet which completely explains the phenomena. The phenomena. I mean, if there are manifestors out there who have been completely just baffled by this is going to demystify it. And if there are any other types that are watching this that have not understood why they get so.
Oh, okay. So I see she's trying to drive home another point here, is that if manifestors are angry and they can't understand why their life is so much in turmoil, then maybe they should consider looking back at the impact that they've left behind. I guess that's what she's saying.
Angry and so upset when their manifestor, whatever the relationship context, but when the manifestor doesn't keep them informed, doesn't signal their intention about what they're going to do, this is it. You are not crazy. These are the mechanics, and they're not mechanics that can be transcended just because you understand. And so, I mean, the greatest thing that I would just love to get across, especially to the manifestors in my life who have not understood where I've come from at times, it's like there's not a single fiber of my being that would ever want to control them, or that would ever want to withhold peace, or that would ever want to stop them from doing what they want to do, from going their own way, even if it involves me not being in their life. And I think this is
I do need to say that manifestor children do need to be guided until obviously their proper ages.
a really big misconception that people are going to want to stop you from what you need to do for you. I can't tell you that's not true, but I definitely can say it's worth experimenting with, because what I can say is that anytime a manifestor has been courteous enough to signal their intention to me, I have been so happy to just give them that freedom of movement and hopefully encourage the peace that is so dear to them. So thank you for joining me today. If my videos resonate, or if ever the day comes that I can be of assistance to you in your process, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so once again, this content was 10 out of 10. We only added a few bit of pieces of information within this video. She is a very clear, slow speaker. I had her sped up to, what was it, 1.75? So we had her almost twice that speed. But yeah, we learned a lot here today, you know. This is a very, very good video. Like, it's very well explained. So I can only imagine the different types of videos that she would have um, to explain, you know, the dilemmas of the sacral. Right here, we have the splenic projector. So, yeah, although there's only a few videos, they're pretty intense. So, yes, go ahead and smash this person a follow. And thanks for watching.